Welcome to the Musa video blog. In yesterday's Torah reading, which was called Mishpatim, we read about all kinds of laws, mostly civil, societal laws. And something just popped into my head as I was thinking about that if you put it in context, let's just get the storyline. This is the storyline as described by the Torah, that it was the 6th of Sivan, the Jews stood at Mount Sinai, heard God speaking the Ten Commandments, after which they said to Moshe, this is overwhelming for us, we can't handle it, you go back up and you get whatever you're going to get from God and bring it back to us. So on the spot, that very same day, Moshe went back up and he got the laws that were stated in Mishpatim, all those different laws. Then he came back down, told them to the people, and the people accepted it, and etc. The story moves forward. But this is the part. This day, right, this is the day, it was one of probably the most incredible day in the history of the world. You can make a case for that, like in terms of, revelation, whatever that means, that somehow God revealed himself. Again, we're talking about very abstract ideas, but something happened back then that was absolutely mind-boggling, amazing. And on that very same day, when the Jews stood at Mount Sinai and they heard God speak, they got the Ten Commandments, on that very same day, Moshe went back up and got the Mishpatim. So now, here's the scenario. Someone comes to you and says, I'm really interested in spirituality. I want to get close to God. And you tell them, oh, wow, I have something for you. On the day of the giving of the Torah, God communicated to the Jewish people the most incredible spiritual day in the history of the world. And the guy's going, yeah, tell me more. So I'll tell you what, that day, Moshe went up into the cloud on top of the mountain, and he heard God speak to him and convey all kinds of messages. And the guy's going, wow, that's incredible. What did he say? And you start telling him some of the laws. Well, there's one law, if you take something, it's entrusted to you, and and you do it for free, and then it gets stolen, then you go to the court says you should take an oath, all the details. We don't need to go into that right now, but there's all kinds of details, other laws, all kinds of minutia, and he's going like, what is this? Is this a university course on law? I thought you were telling me spirituality. I want to know spirituality. And you're telling me all these, as they call it, I think, torts, stuff like that. And what's going on? So what is going on? So I think in a simple way we can understand that spirituality isn't just, prayer, meditation, contemplation, seeing God's presence by looking at a beautiful sunset or the mountains or whatever sight you see that's absolutely incredible. But real spirituality manifests itself in the so-called mundane, everyday stuff. On the day of the giving of the Torah, this is what God spent most of the time conveying to Moshe. The everyday nitty-gritty of life, living life correctly, that's spirituality. Because ultimately, all of these details are the way that God created the world, and these are the guidelines by which God says you should live the world. So it's a paradigm shift. It's not just, this is mundane. This is mundane, and this is the way I have to live the mundane. And, I'll try to instill a little bit, maybe, I'll try to get some spiritual into the mundane. We have to realize that the mundane is not really mundane. Every time we do this stuff, we are connecting with the divine will. If we can approach it like that, then all of life, even the so-called minutia, nitty-gritty, everyday, ordinary stuff, is an experience of connecting to God, becomes a spiritual experience. It really has a lot to do with the way we look at it. So we need to make a paradigm shift, and it's not mundane. It's an expression of God's will. When I do something that's right and proper, I do something that has real, true values, aligning myself with the ethics of the Torah, that is a spiritual experience. See you next time.